Bacardi girls, Bacardi girls. I'm gonna say what we want. Bacardi girls, singing from the front. Bacardi girls, our mouths are our guns, and we here and fighting, cause it has to be done. We're gonna say what we want. Bacardi girls, singing from the front. Bacardi girls, our mouths are our guns, and we here and fighting, cause it has to be done. We're gonna say what we want.
Break your friends like
Bacardi girls, singing from
it's like a bit of a free for all, isn't it? Really?
I think there's an assumption that
For a while now, Jodie, while we talk about some of this week's highlights.
Yep, absolutely.
We're gonna say
Like
what we
those
want.
Tucker Carlson,
Bacardi girls. We're singing from the front. Bacardi girls. Our mouths are our guns, and we here and fighting, cause it has to be done.
Oh, hi. Hi, everybody. Bit sad tonight. Susanna climbed the tree, still can't get an internet connection. However, we're going to press on because we've got a really interesting show. I'm going to get Andy to come in. Where are you, Andy?
Coming.
There he is.
Okay.
Hi, Andrew. Can't rely on the internet in the country.
No, you can't. Got to come see you in person.
Yeah, you just have to come in person. So hopefully everybody, Andrew's a local, very much a local, born and bred,
Oh, I'm not born, but bred.
nearly born.
You're nearly born.
He doesn't remember, but I remember Andrew being in the gold miner's shop
Oh, yeah. That was a few years ago. A few
few
decades
years-
ago.
actually decades ago. Like I think we're talking we came in 1989.
Yes, my parents opened that in the late 70s. So,
That's
yeah.
right. We used to bring our little school groups down on a Thursday night to buy their souvenirs.
Oh, yeah. Postcards and tea towels.
Postcards, tea towels, teaspoons,
Awesome.
was good. So I have known Andy for a while, and he has an amazing, what he's done and his knowledge of this area is quite amazing. So Kelly, can you play our first little video? Now, I'm going to going to explain to everybody. I'm going to apologise in advance if it doesn't work, because we've never done this before and we did it in about 5 minutes. So we'll see how it goes. So thanks, Kelly.
Awesome. Slumbering in the Australian Alps is a hidden landscape of ancient ruins and the untold stories of the people who ventured into this wilderness in search of gold. I was raised in an old mining town in the foothills of these Alps, where old derelict cottages and abandoned mine workings became our playgrounds. We didn't know it at the time, but these places were the beginning of a journey that would lead us into the remote corners of the Alps. As we got older and more adventurous, we met the men, descendants from long lines of miners. They would take us to their mines and teach us the things our parents would have otherwise protected us from. Breaking large quartz boulders with heavy hammers, crimping detonators, charging carbide lamps, and perhaps the odd, colourful phrase not necessarily found in the Oxford Dictionary. Later in life, a few of us would follow in the footsteps of these men and work in some of the last mountain gold mines, using the same traditional mining methods and the antiquated machinery. More savoury conversation often averted to the tales of the old mines up in the hills, where gold still lay in flooded shafts, and where the lost mining camps and abandoned machinery lay in fern-filled gullies. It was always the tales of these lost mountain mines that led us deeper into the mountains. Many times we found nothing other than thick, impenetrable scrub, steep hillsides and leech-infested gullies. Occasionally, however, just occasionally, you would stumble across some remarkable places. An old tunnel with abandoned tools, perhaps left in disgust by a disgruntled miner after a poor yield or a lost reef. Other tracks might lead to industrial wonders and abandoned machinery, ambitious tunnels, aerial tramways, water wheels and stamp batteries, far too heavy to ever get into these locations, let alone get out again. More interestingly were the personal discoveries. Hut remains with tables set as if anticipating a return of the miner for his evening meal. A carved initial on a tunnel wall, an impression of those who walked these paths so long ago. An awakening interest within the community has seen me spend as much time sharing these discoveries than in seeking out other forgotten stories. Although the gold is long gone, there is still a richness left in the ruins of these places, and more pathways to our mountain heritage await rediscovery.
Great. Now that gives you a bit of an idea of what Andy's been up to. He spent his whole life in holes, digging his way out of holes. Still digging your way out of holes. Every aspect. So how did you, what made you, because gold, I mean, it's a big, big part of Australian history that a lot of people aren't aware of. What made you really get involved with it?
Oh, yeah, it's a good question. It's the boredom at school in Bright. No,
Yes.
the school was okay, but up behind the school there's a hill called Huggins Lookout. So
Yes.
it was originally called Pioneer Hill back in the day. And I wasn't a big fan of football, sorry to say, Kay.
No, that's all right. I'm not either now. Oh, I've watched it.
So yeah, we used to just wag and go exploring the mines, but you'd see the carved initials in tunnel walls. And when Mum and Dad moved up here for a bit of a tree change in the 1970s, we used to, during the week, we'd go and knock down old cottages and recycle the material to help build the house that we grew up in. And under the floorboards, I came across books of old mining maps and so on. So that sort of led us on a journey into these tunnels. And then you'd find the names of the miners who actually worked. And
Did you find any gold under the floorboards?
No, just lots of lousy old pennies and things, nothing, But I suppose the value is in the old maps rather than the gold and stuff. Yeah.
So who would have done those maps?
It was old government geologists back in the day. They sort of, they actually supported the miners. There's a service that the government said, okay, if you want to do some exploration, you want to potentially find more gold, we can do a survey for you for a very small nominal fee.
Yes.
And that sort of helped encourage, the local communities to continue to sort of mine gold.
So from there you forged basically a career?
Yeah, so I joined Historical Society at about 16 years of age. I'm still the youngest member 30 odd years later or whatever it is, 40 years later. And I started giving slideshows back in, local cafes and at halls that, with the old slides and the old slide projectors and just, part of the, the festivals and stuff. It's a bit of a fundraiser.
I remember that, yes.
Yeah. And then this wonderful technology, VHS camcorders came out. So we, mate Sean and I, we just thought we'd grab a camera and, do the YouTube thing, back in the late 1990s and, out into the bush. And, it was good. Yeah, people loved it. We filled up halls and everything,
Well, I think so, because history, I did Australian history at school and I actually did gold.
Oh, yeah.
And I found it all really, really fascinating because in those years you had to pick certain blocks of the history. You didn't actually follow the history all the way through, which would have been ideal in chronologically follow it. But we had to pick, areas, and gold was particularly of interest. Even though where I came from, supposedly there was no gold.
Yeah.
The closest would have been Bendigo,
Yeah.
about an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
So, so I always had a particular interest because it's quite mystical. The whole mining.
Well, it is. And it was an era that evokes, the discovery of wealth, but also, all of the stories of, the bush ranges and the rich
Yes.
yields and,
Yeah.
the boom town, bust town sort of thing. So it's pretty evocative sort of part of Australian history.
And also too, I think what goes with that, what fits in with our life now, is the freedom.
Yeah, big time.
Like, who came into our country? I mean,
Yeah.
what people came in?
Yeah, so like back in the day, Victoria, the colony of Victoria had only just separated from New South Wales in like early 1851.
Yes.
They then officially discovered gold in New South Wales. So New South Wales said, beauty, the 10, 20,000 people that were in Victoria, half of them left to go back up to New South Wales. And then in early mid-1851, they discovered gold in the new colony of Victoria, and it's heaps richer. And so the population in Victoria, just as gold was discovered, is for like 70,000 people in the colony.
Yeah.
And then within a year, and that's when my ancestors came out, they came out in 1852,
Right.
the population of Victoria increased by 90,000. And then in that 10-year period, that real boom period, it was over 500,000 people were in Victoria because of the gold.
Because of the gold.
So, we think, a lot of people go, we're a convict nation or a penal nation,
No.
but it's really, it's gold.
The gold that built it.
that built it.
So what countries I guess are main countries they came from?
Yeah, lots of Europeans, English, Irish, Scottish, but also there were Germans and Swedes, Swiss Italians came out. And they're all, they all came out of part of sort of oppressed and class systems. They were masters and servants. And, the Goldfields, the democracy and the Eureka Stockade sort of really sort of gave the gold and the ideology that they all brought to Australia really sort of instilled the democracy that we live in today, or used to live in 20 odd years ago.
Yeah, democracy. Yeah, we could debate that.
Yeah.
And you know what? I bet they didn't have to fill in a visa form and get 5 out of 9 to enter the country.
Migration, you just
pay thousands of dollars to get a visa.
you just jump on a boat.
Got on a boat,
Basically.
and in you came.
Yep. That was it.
And then away you went. If they found the gold here, would you have thought they would have taken it back, or they would have stayed?
Most ended up staying because what they left was pretty
poor.
impoverished, and
You're talking before the First World War.
and the government, the home governments weren't that that good. So they found better homes here, and they were able to buy land for the first time. They were able to vote, have the private ballot for the first time. If you held that miner's right or the miner's license, you were entitled to vote for your own representative. So that whole system was much more appealing
than where they'd come from.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you wonder how we've got to where we've got now. But anyway, that's only really 150, 140. It's not that long ago.
No, we've gone backwards a bit, I reckon.
We have. I think we have gone backwards, big way. So, now it's some people to come into the country. I know people, it's so hard to get in, on student visas. It's really difficult, even if they've got family here. And yet other people just seem to walk in, and you're meant to have been able to pass a level of English.
Yeah.
But that seems to go by the wayside. So I don't know. I'm sure there's a bit of money and things change under the table or whatever happens here.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure. Because it's not at all corrupt. There's no corruption. None at all. It's so squeaky clean, our government.
Well, there's a bit of corruption going on in a day.
I read the headlines of the newspaper today. Or every day. Yes. So Kelly, can we please look at the photo? Well, the photos, actually, the drawings that this very talented man drew, the sketches.
So this is before AI.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that's a good point.
Yeah.
This is not AI. This is actually HI, human intervention. Human intelligence, let's call it.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
So what's this first
So
one?
this is a picture of ground sluicing. In the about 1855, the first Chinese started to come into Australia, and by 1856, 57, the Chinese on the Goldfields outnumbered the Europeans 5-1. And so this is back many years ago. This illustration is on a signboard on the Canyon Walk, one of Bright's popular walking spots.
Yes.
And that landscape in the background is a landscape there today. So I've just sort of drawn that where the board is, so you can look in and see what that scene was like back in the day.
And the next one, Kelly, please. She's good at this.
Oh yeah, this is one for the women.
Yeah.
Washing day on the Goldfield.
Oh, what's new?
So
Nothing's changed.
Dad's he's washing in the gold pan, and Mum's washing the linen. So yeah, and this is from a book I co-authored with Diane Talbot on the Buckland Valley Goldfield.
Yeah,
back
right.
in, I don't know, early 2000s.
From the historical, Di's involved with the historical society.
Yeah, and so Di really writes a really good in-depth social history, and focusing on the female side of things, which is really good because it gives a balanced perspective. And then I just write about the boring mechanical things in mine.
Yeah, because people forget they bought families.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there was a whole colony, you call almost, of people up the Buckland Valley.
Yeah, yep. So that when people got overseas, like my ancestors, the Swifts, when he came out as a single man, he married in Melbourne within the first couple of months of landing on the Goldfields. And then over the next 12 years, they had about 8 or 9 kids. And they're all born in different goldfields, even in New Zealand. So they just chase the gold.
I wonder if they named them those names. Like people do now, depending on where that child's been made. Oh, that's amazing. Can we have the next one, please, Kelly?
Oh, yeah. So that's a reconstruction illustration of a site out just upstream from here, probably about 20 k's upstream, a big stamp battery. That's powered by water. And this is an era when small parties, when there's a bit of capital around, like say, you, me and a half dozen other blokes, we'd gotten rich on the Goldfields. We put our funds together and then we'd open up a bigger claim and develop the claim and bought expensive machinery and stuff. So this is also one on the Interps board that was installed up in the Buckland Valley probably about 18 months ago.
So how much gold was taken out of the Buckland Valley?
Yeah, well, look, we don't.
We never know. I'm sure everything was squeaky clean as well.
Yeah, well, they declared it all to the tax department.
Of course.
So the tax department would have really good records.
That's where it's gone missing.
Maybe. So it all got shipped off to Treasury down in Melbourne. But yeah, look, the records, if you collate all of the statistics, the official statistics, the upper ovens, which includes Bright, the Buckland, Harriettville, and Wandillagong, the official records state that was 1 million ounces of gold. However, these floating dredges came along from 1900 to the First World War, and they doubled the yield of gold. So just out all of these river flats just beyond us, that was all dredged, and that doubled the amount of gold. So conservatively, you could double that again. So there'd be at least 4 million ounces of gold would come from
That's a lot of gold. Yes.
Yes.
A lot of gold. And then when we've learned that, Peter and Donna from Corruption Whistleblower have found that on the 1st of January, there was a lot of gold moved of 1966. A lot of gold was removed from Australia.
Right. Okay. That's interesting.
So where's that gold gone? And that was coincided when decimal currency came in. So anyway, that's another whole story. So interesting.
Yeah.
You wonder where it has gone. Okay. Could we please have the next one, Kelly? Oh, that's okay. The rest won't load. That's all right.
Excellent.
No.
All right.
What about the little video? Can that load? We're having a few tech troubles tonight, but anyway. You've got to go to Heritage Rap, everybody, and watch the YouTubes. They're fantastic.
No, anyway, people can get online.
Yeah, go online and have a look. But do go to, you can see the little yellow button down the bottom there, Heritage Rap. There's some really 7 little short.
There's we just released a documentary we filmed in 2016.
Oh, so there we go. There's Andrew in his Mercedes. The gorge at Mount Buffalo. Mount Buffalo's been in the news a bit
Overlooking the lower reaches of the Buckland River is Mount Buffalo. Like an ancient sentinel, she guards and plundered the land on the upper reaches of the Buckland River, warning all those that sought the treasure beyond that the cost may come at the ultimate price.
Isn't it beautiful?
Someone moving up in the tree.
Might be. Devil's Foot. Might be the devil in there. Oh,
Yeah, so there you
thank
go.
you.
That's
That's it, Buckland Valley. You never see your house from there. But interesting. So, do you think there's any mines?
Overlooking the lower
Buffalo?
reaches of the Buckland River, it's now Buffalo.
There's
Like an
gold mines
ancient
all
sentinel,
around the edge.
she guarded the plundered the land in the upper reaches of the Buckland River, warning all those that sought the treasure beyond that the cost may come at the ultimate price.
Thanks, Kelly.
Excellent.
That's good.
Once
Well,
is enough.
Yeah, once it's done, I'll know the dialogue soon.
Oh, no.
I think the Buckland Valley, well, as we said, it's been the Buckland Valley people in this area. Well, it gets confusing because there's a Buckland Gorge, isn't there?
Yeah, or the Buckland Gap.
Gap, the
Yep.
Buckland Gap on the way to Beechworth.
Correct.
So it's a little confusing when you say the Buckland Valley and then the Buckland Gap.
Yeah,
I wonder why they call them the same name.
because that was the first route. So they discovered gold in Beechworth first. And
Yes.
so that was the route from Beechworth to the Buckland digging. So they called it the Buckland Gap.
Gap to get to the
Yeah.
Buckland Valley.
That's right.
Yeah,
So,
right.
there were pubs and shanties.
Now, it also has some sad stories, the Buckland, because the Chinese weren't popular, were they?
No, they
So what
weren't.
happened?
So in 1856, there was only about 500 miners working on the Buckland in 1856-57, and it's a narrow valley, really narrow valley. The river running, flowing through it. There's probably about 10 k's of ground that was being worked at the time. But all of a sudden, literally within a matter of weeks, some 2,500 Chinese miners came onto the Buckland field. And within a very short time, they built a temple and they started to move upstream into new ground that hadn't necessarily been previously worked. And so a small portion of the European miners had a meeting to discuss the Chinese problem, or what they described as the Chinese problem. Because there was, obviously limited ground and a lot of space. So at this meeting on the 4th of July, about 100 of these guys literally just herded these 2,500 Chinese miners out of the valley.
And some, of course, would have been
Murdered.
murdered,
Yeah, but
basically murdered.
the official coroner's inquiry into the event only found 3 bodies, and the coroner's inquiry stated that they had died from disease and exposure. But the thing is, it took the police 24 hours to get on the scene because it was a fair way from Beechworth, and they didn't have Bearcats or high-speed vehicles then. So
Or helicopters.
or helicopters. So Burke and Wills of Burke and Wills fame,
Yes.
Burke, Superintendent Burke, was one of the first guys here with the police.
So do you think they were buried? A lot of Chinese would have been buried.
Yeah. So anecdotally, they reckon a lot of the bodies were thrown down mine shafts or dragged up into gullies, well and truly out of the way. Yeah. So that's the dark side of the Buckland.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
and history tends to focus, on the sensational
Yes.
stories. However, there's heaps of hundreds of boring good stories that the Goldfields.
Yes, that's right.
brought.
That's because I know Thomas Lawler who
Yep.
did the paintings.
Yep.
I think, are they in the council offices?
Yeah, I
or
think Bright
Sean?
Art Gallery's got those.
The Bright Art Gallery. Yeah, if
Yeah.
anyone's up here, they're worth. Thomas was a chef for us once.
Oh yeah, yep.
So, and he was also painting those at the same time.
Yeah, well that was back in the
80s, yeah, the 80s. So it took him a long time to do them.
Yeah,
Because they're quite big.
they are. That's
But
like
it tells the Chinese story.
one of those panels shows a group of Irish miners who had surrounded a tent with a group of Chinese miners in it, and they'd set it ablaze, and there were only 2 constables on the Buckland field at that time. So one had to act as an observer, and the other one protected all of the police assets down at Camp Flat. And had that police officer not been there to intervene,
Yes.
those Chinese miners would have most certainly, you know, burned to
Cooked.
death. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Terrible.
yeah.
Horrible. Yeah, as you said, there's always there would be some really bad stories from all the gold mines because humans, human greed,
Yeah.
as we know, it's not a good thing. Oh, okay. Is there still gold in the Buckland Valley? get a
No, there's nothing left.
it's all been taken.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's been plenty of people up there with their little. Oh, that's a good question. Why is it so valuable?
Yeah, I suppose since biblical times, gold and silver have been used as a currency.
Currency.
Well,
we've backed countries on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Countries have backed their currency on it.
And because it's so rare and requires a lot of energy to extract, that increases the value. But, you know, we've seen gold go through the roof. In this documentary we filmed in 2006, I had an ounce of gold. It was worth $800 back then. But now it's worth, I don't know, over $7,000 an ounce. So.
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, people investing and buying gold. What gets me is when people invest in gold, they buy it, but you can't physically hold it.
Right, yep. Why
Now-
not? Why don't they let you hold
Well,
it?
I think you just buy it and it's somewhere.
We probably have to declare it. to the
Yeah,
ATO,
well,
I think.
yes. Because somebody tried to tell me one time that gold's DNA'd. Is that true?
Yeah, I don't know. I know.
They know it comes from different areas.
Yeah, they can, but often when they put it in a big pot, they just know it.
Is Andrew single, asking for a friend?
No, I haven't got my gold wedding
Yeah,
ring.
where's
on at
about
the
your
moment.
gold wedding ring? You
I'll
sold
get
your
in
gold
trouble.
wedding ring. It's worth
Absolutely.
$7,500.
That's right.
Yeah. So, Margaret has. Oh, I came from Bangalow. It's in Albury and Lombright. Ah, okay. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people, they do love this valley. We had some guests staying on the weekend and they're from Sydney and they'd never been here.
Okay.
And they just said, this is the most beautiful valley.
Yeah.
Well,
They'll probably come back next year and next year and
and the
next year.
and
Unless
the next
the price
year.
of fuel's too high.
Unless they can't afford to come, I'll have,
Yeah.
to, have to rent the horse out.
Oh, yeah, it's a good idea. Or they could just watch Heritage Rat Channel.
Heritage Rat Channel at home and just pretend they're up here.
That's
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kelly, have we got one more little video, please? There's an awesome page called The Unlucky Prospector.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm sure that happened to many. You like playing Taps Lotto.
Yeah. You know, the good thing, just quickly on that, the Eastern Goldfields
Yes.
were known as the sensible man's field because the gold distribution of gold was more evenly distributed,
Ah,
whereas Central Victoria, it was generally known for its larger nuggets. So if you could be out there for weeks and weeks and weeks and find nothing, but you could come here. That's why the Chinese like it here. They hedge their bets. They knew that they could, get a few ounces a week.
Yep.
Whereas in
They could
Central
survive.
Victoria, they could work for weeks and
Not find anything.
Not get anything. So
that's right. Because where was the big nuggets found? Oh, there's a movie about that big nugget in WA.
I see. Oh, Hand of Faith.
Yeah,
it?
is
Yeah.
that the one where? Oh, I reckon I watched it, and it is based on. Is it based on a true story?
So it could be honest.
Somebody might know who's listening, but I remember watching it once, and I think he ended up in trouble with it. And yeah, it was. I can't think what it was called.
Yeah,
What did you
okay.
think it was called?
Oh, the Hand of Faith. Was that a recent discovery?
No, this was a while ago,
Oh.
a while back, maybe 80s. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, when you're old, 80s not long ago.
No, that's right.
That's a good time. Oh, she can't get it to work. Kelly can't get that
Oh, that's
to
all
work.
right.
But I can't remember what that one was about.
No. I can't.
So this area. Oh, okay, that's fine. Not a worry.
Yep.
I tried to use my tech skills today. I thought I had. I've never done this before. Anyway, I quickly sent it to Kelly and it didn't work. But I'm going to work on that because now I've learned how to do it.
It's
It'll
a
be
handy.
It's a handy,
Handy,
skill, handy
platform.
handy
The
to
Carter
use.
girls will be just,
Oh,
you and Suzanne will just be sitting back watching videos all the time.
there you go. Gold is still tax-free unless you do prospecting as a business. Well, I think it's very hard to be a prospector now, I believe.
Yeah, there's they've clamped down a lot.
Mm.
There's various laws which they can get you for with like environmental damage, or there's sensitive streams. There's types of, technologies that, do a bit of damage. So,
So they try. Yeah, that's right.
it's tricky because you get some idiots out there that, tear
Start
into the
digging,
banks and they move trailer loads of material.
Yeah.
But then you've got, dad and the kids out with, with a trail and a gold pan.
You're just having fun.
Yeah. And, that's part of our cultural heritage. It's part of
Well,
my
it is.
cultural heritage.
Yeah, to go gold panning.
My family came out to the Goldfields, and if I wanted to take the kids out or other kids out just to share that experience,
Yeah.
technically that could be illegal in a lot of places.
I know. I was talking to a friend in town the other day, and the local ranger told him that he wasn't allowed to do it. And then our local police officer said there's a $900 fine.
Yeah, right.
But
Well,
I think he chased it all up and sort of said, well,
you probably only need a few grams of gold to pay your fine.
that'd be right. Then you don't know where the gold's going to go. That's the next $1 million question. So, as you said, it's a cultural thing, because what's better than going and sitting on the edge of a river, listening to the birds, as was in the beginning of one of those
Yes.
videos, the water trickling past, running past, the breeze off the water. That's Australia.
It's great for mental health, but it's also it's part of our identity.
Yeah.
We were sort of, some say we were brought up on the back of the sheep, but we're also, the pick and shovel were,
Yes.
it was the wealth of gold that built all of the townships, most of the townships in Victoria.
Yeah, we just need to look at the buildings. Like you look at the beautiful old buildings in Bendigo.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Then I go, gee, how'd they afford to build those? And someone said gold.
Yeah, and that'll happen, in Europe. Like, it would take hundreds of years to build schools and hospitals and churches.
Yes.
But in Australia, it only took, a couple of years to build all that infrastructure. And that was because of gold.
That's amazing. So how come the road took like 15 years into Melbourne?
No one wanted to go there.
And they built these magnificent buildings. That always gets me. These magic buildings, ornate buildings, beautifully done. I wonder how long it did actually take. Yeah.
Yeah, they went up pretty quickly. Like, they put the infrastructure in so quickly back in the day.
They did. They probably, hang on. There wasn't the 55 bits of paper you had to fill in.
No, there wasn't.
And all that sort of
the red
stuff.
tape, the green tape.
The green tape, the red tape.
Yeah.
Pay this money, pay that money.
15 inspections.
Oh, you're not allowed to do that. Oh, I don't know. Oh, can you ask someone? Oh, maybe.
Well, that's the other great thing. You go to gold towns, and 20 years ago, 80% of the houses that were there weren't built with permits.
No.
Right, and they're still standing.
That's right.
So we've just bogged down, and like I've built my own houses before, and my parents have.
Yes.
But if my kids wanted to build their own house,
good luck.
It would just be, well, they can't. Because
No.
they'd have to engage a builder to supervise
Supervise it or whatever. Or,
I
think in New South you can do an owner builder's course, and then that allows you to oversee it.
Yeah, but you could
You can
build
do it
half
once.
your house by then.
I know.
Kate,
And what's the cost? Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I had a friend years ago who built his entire house out of the tip.
Yeah, that's like us. My
Yeah.
parents, they built it out of old cottages,
Yeah.
old miners' cottages.
That's right. He got everything, the whole little house out of building his
Awesome.
house. Yeah.
So you go
You
to
wouldn't
the
be able to
tip
do
with
it
an
now.
empty trailer.
And come back with a full one.
Yeah,
Not
awesome.
even allowed to take stuff out of the tip now.
Probably not.
Recycle. It should be sustainable.
Yeah, it should be, but you
Yeah.
can't make money out of that, can you?
No, you can't make money out of that. You can't. I often wonder what happens with all that stuff at the tip.
This goes in landfill, most of it, doesn't it? I don't
Mm,
know.
that's right.
They used to fill up old mine shafts with it.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
Fill it up. Yes. A Vic miner's right is about $29 for 10 years. Make sure to only go where prospecting is allowed. Parks Vic website will tell you, and always fill your holes and leave the area as you found it.
Yeah, that's good advice.
That's great, David. Thank you. Yeah, that is good. So you can, well, that'd be good to get. That's what my friend needs to get. So when the guy comes and tells him he can't do it.
Yeah. Just send them to that.
Mm.
Yeah, I think because those areas are limited, they do get hammered a lot
A lot
by
of people.
prospectors.
Yeah.
And, so that form of intensive mining, can create its own issues.
I have an idea. Parks Victoria could open up something and charge people to go in to have a go at it.
I think they call it Sovereign Hill, don't they?
Sovereign Hill. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that'd be something that they could do. Yeah. I think, Lisa, you might be right.
Yeah.
I think there's a few holes in things now. Typical of the governments, don't want too many to get in front of them when controlling us somehow. Very much, very, very true. Control, be compliant, be complicit.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you're not, you pay for it.
Yeah.
As we saw up here. But anyway, so God bless you.
Excellent, he does.
Yeah, it certainly does. Oh, that's great. I think what actually, though, your day-to-day work, what do you do now?
So I've been really, really fortunate, Kay. From a kid that, WAG school and explored gold mines, I now do a lot of work with the government in protecting mining landscapes and historic mining sites. So I've worked with doing LiDAR survey, back 4 or 5 years ago, which is like 3D modelling of a landscape with no vegetation on it. It's like a moonscape, so you can actually see every detailed feature within that landscape. So we did a case study in the Buckland Valley here, and that came off the back of a recreational master plan for the Buckland Valley, which sort of integrated interpreting a cultural landscape, telling the Aboriginal story, but also telling the mining stories of those places. Because there is pressure, people want to be able to engage with spaces and learn about them. You go, like you're a travel agent, you go overseas, what do? You look at the history, don't you?
Yeah, you do. History. It's a question that every town should have a thing about its history.
And so we don't promote that enough here in Australia, particularly Victoria. And in the Alpine Shire, we talk about, hot rods and stuff, which are great, and music festivals and stuff. But, if local communities primarily, but also visitors to the area, if they had an understanding of the history and had a mechanism to understand that, which is like, just through basic signage or a few interps up the bush at old sites or whatever, then people would have a far better positive experience with the places that we live. And we take ownership of them as communities. We look after them. We don't act like
and be proud of them.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't chuck rubbish out, and it's sort of almost self-managed through just our interest and understanding of the space.
If you're proud of something, you look after it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, look at our older people, our elders, our grandparents. They'd buy and they looked after it because that's what you did. They cherished it.
Well, that's right. And that's the trick today. See, it only takes one generation for us to lose contact with our history.
You're right.
So my grandparents taught me about my ancestors who were gold miners. And if I wasn't active in teaching my kids about the history, there's a lot of my generation that have missed that opportunity to share, or, because of the internet and Netflix and all the other distractions.
The distractions.
But
Precisely.
if we put a little bit more energy, and the schools, they don't
do history stuff.
Get them out in the bush, take them camping, make some damper, take them gold panning, get someone like myself to show them around, and we'd be reconnecting.
You're so right, because the connection with where you live is so, so important. And as you said, it has been lost. I mean, I'm lucky too. I've been sort of taught the history of what my grandparents came out. But they say 3 generations is about where it stops.
Yeah.
It's hard to go beyond the 3 generations. You would hope now that it will go more than that because of technology. They've got ways to save stuff.
Yeah, but technology's like tonight, it's
can break.
Yeah, and we've had archival material that I've stored with government departments before, and it's just been lost.
That's true. So, with the whole, did anyone ever ask you where all the mines were when they were looking for Bessie? No one ever asked?
No, not specifically. No, but I'm sure they accessed a lot of my reports and records.
Did you charge them for it? You should have. You should have for your reports.
Yeah, I was spending a bit of money then.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, the taxpayer refunded us, so thank you for all the taxpayers. So, I think it's really interesting because the history, I'm quite interested in history. And as somebody stated before, I think we've been told not the right things about our history sometimes. There's lots of theories about certain things now, but local history has to be kept alive.
Yep.
I reckon every country town you go to, there should be a great big board, why the town was there, how it came to be there, and who put it there.
Yeah. But you should be able to walk into the country cafe and see pictures on the wall, and
Yes.
then the young waitress comes out and says, "What are you doing here?" And you go, "Oh, I'm just checking out history," and then she'll go and she'll start telling you a story.
Yes.
You know, I mean, and
Yeah.
it's that human interaction.
It is.
You
And
know?
you need to know why you live in a town.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You know, even if you're new to the town, it doesn't matter because we're all part of that history now. You know,
We
we're all
are.
making history every day.
That's right.
But you
Yeah.
know, if we just look back, we can bring that through. You know,
Yes.
and make comparisons about, you know, the people here before us. That's why they put the town there. That's, you know, that's a war memorial. These people died. They were called diggers because they were diggers, you know, back in the Goldfields.
Yes.
And yeah, you know, it's a difficult thing to quantify and put a value on.
It
And
is.
so that's why, you know, we don't sort of value it enough, I suppose.
No, we don't. We don't. And particularly, I don't really know what the curriculum's like in the local school, but imagine if all the local schools took on the local history. That would keep it within the communities too.
Yeah, and that comes down to the individual schools. If you've got an
Mm.
individual within that school who's keen, like I used to give lots of talks, you know, 20, 30 years ago
Yeah.
to the school kids.
Better
and stuff.
start again.
Yeah, but I probably need to get a working with children
Oh.
ticket, and then I'll need to, you
That's
know,
pretty
do
handy.
a OH&S safety check on, you know, using a gold pan, and you know, I'll probably, you know,
Get
and
a
when
certificate?
I'm teaching the kids how to crimp detonators and stuff, you know,
Yeah, that'd be fun. What are you doing, kids? Oh, crimping and detonator. Well, that's a good skill.
it's really handy, you know, if you got an old stump in the backyard, you want to blow it out, you know, it's heaps easier than getting someone in with an excavator.
Oh, there you go. Marion's watching from the UK.
Thank you.
And well, they've got a lot of history.
Oh yeah,
Yes, so love history. Yeah, that's right. Oh, well, that's great, Andy. Well, thank you so much for giving your time. Can you think of, I'm trying to think what else I haven't asked you about within this area. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks.
And-
we'll talk about all the secret tunnels some other time. right?
Yeah, the secret tunnels. That's what, well, I read yesterday about the, in Paris,
Oh yeah.
they say there's 180 miles of underground tunnels, but they only let the public into about a K.
Yeah, right. That's probably
Catapults.
understandable. I might get lost.
And then they say there's in Chicago, I was listening, there's a heap of underground stuff in Chicago as well.
Yeah, right.
So these were all built, and they're not just little tunnels, they're massive.
Well, they're digging more in Melbourne, aren't they?
Well, yes, I wonder if there was more under Melbourne that we don't know about. Well, what about Bright?
Yeah, it seems tunnels on the Bright.
There were tunnels under Bright. That's what I meant
Yeah.
to ask you about, because it joined how they would transport the gold
Well, yeah, between the shops in Bright, there's like thoroughfares under joining
under
up
the
shops.
road.
Yeah. And then if you drive into Wondillagon, you cross over at least 3, maybe 4 big tunnels just between the footy ground and Dougherty's Bridge.
But you can't go down there.
No, well, they're sort of inaccessible at the moment. So yeah.
Wonder what's down there.
Yeah, well, stay tuned.
Well, stay tuned. You just think, what a great historical thing though to open those up as a tourist thing in the town.
Oh, yeah,
That'd be
like
fantastic.
it would be
That would be money well
awesome.
spent.
And you could,
Yeah.
you know, like if you, yeah, there's so much to talk about, but you
Yeah.
could, and it would be a great tourist attraction. And there is so much potential in a lot of Goldfields towns to do that,
Yes.
and it would be incredibly engaging.
Because that's our history.
Yeah,
I mean, Australia, we do have a culture.
yeah.
Contrary to what people think, we do have one. So anyway,
We're not all rat bags.
no. Or heritage rats. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Oh, that's great. Well, I'll let you go because we're going to eat dinner now.
Sounds good.
That was great. Thank you so much. And
Thanks for
we'll-
having us. Yeah,
No,
really
that's
appreciate
great.
it.
and
thanks for
everybody
everyone
go
watching.
onto YouTube and go and find Heritage Rat and find and watch the 7 small stories. They go for about 10, 12 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not long and they're really, really good, really informative.
And if you
So-
can't sleep, it's really good medicine for putting you to
Oh.
sleep.
No, they're not. They're great. All right. Okay. Thanks, Kelly.
Good on you. Cheerio.
Historically, we are the debris, forgotten faces, never more to be. Instead of legends fighting for something that had no guarantees, living ghosts we chose to live and die as their worker bees. Why didn't we break out from their hide? Why didn't we follow our own sun to another life? Why didn't we scroll over all their flowers? Brothers and sisters, it's okay to be free. Brothers and sisters, it's time to be freedom of movement, freedom of thought, freedom to choose, freedom to talk, freedom of religion and association, freedom of the press, freedom to be you, freedom to be you, freedom to be me. I can feel your secret vibrations like our last fading song. It's time, oh, it's time to be free. I can hear your vibrations like a final human cry. Oh, it's time to be way past time to be free.
Sort of, were you watching the time? Or
Yep, thumbs up. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
That was great. Thank you. It was good, wasn't it? It was good.
Good on you, Rat.
We just had to put on your rep. We just mentioned a few little things, teasers in there, you know.
That's the way. Love it, Kay. Love your work.
All
Have
right.
a great night, guys.
Yeah,
You
you
too.
too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See
See
ya.
ya. Bye.
See ya.
Okay, I've cleaned the barbecue to a degree.